Hey guys, it's Ian at SS8000 Cars. We're heading for the McLaren stand first, given we have McLaren VIP passes, so that seemed like a good place to start. So the new 720S. What a fantastic looking machine. I think McLaren have absolutely moved the game on here without a shadow of a doubt, and it's just quite an extraordinary looking machine. It's the sort of car that you might have seen just going back 10 years ago in futuristic type programs, and yet this car is actually being produced now. 720S is representative of the number of horsepower that the car has, so we're talking about 710 brake horsepower here. Wow, absolutely amazing. And the most obvious thing, of course, the first thing you have to understand, I guess, about this is that they've actually removed the air intake at the side, which you're probably familiar with in the 650S, and actually the air is channeled down inside the door frame, so it's a double skinned outer frame, as you can see. It's got active aerodynamics both at the front and of course at the rear, and the new air brake, which we'll cover in a second, is the entire width of the car, which the 650S never had, very like the 675 was. Apparently the brakes are very slightly smaller than in the 650S, but equally powerful. Now with the carbon monocell 2, as you're probably aware, carbon monocell 2 is actually not only the carbon cell that wraps around the driver underneath, but it also comes across the top, so they've actually been able to swing the doors from both the side here and you can see at the top. And what it's ended up doing is actually allowing a fair amount of glass to be inside the car, apparently incredibly easy to see from a 360-degree viewpoint. Definitely a lot of glass, because you've not just got the rear screen, but you've got the side screens as well, and then a very small area where you can actually see the engine through the grille behind the rear window. Apparently it lights up, so when the car is stationary you can actually see it at night. It's all lit up. I assume that this one has the different carbon packs that are available on the car. You can see there's quite a lot of carbon on it. Incredibly futuristic. It's a top speed of 212 miles an hour. 0 to 200 kilometers, which is 124 miles an hour in 7.8, so it's 0.1 of a second faster than the 675. And the 675 is rapid, and this is on the standard 650S replacement. That is absolutely mind-boggling. So the LT, when it comes out in 2 or 3 years' time, it's got to have 750 HP plus. The front, as you can see, acts as both an area for the area around here, acts as an area for your driving lights plus your main lights, but it also allows the air to channel through the car for maximum cooling. And then if I come up here, you can see how the air is actually channeled through the door. I mean, that really is innovative, I would say. You know, this seems to go all the way down. That is just amazing. Ah, that's interesting. There's actually a catch on the inside of the car there where you push to lift the door. come into the car. Wow, incredibly airy in here.
Yeah.
Amazing, actually. Wow. Then you've got the dash that swivels as well, which is when you're in racing mode, I think. Oh yeah, it's definitely a game on from the 650S, without a doubt. This one's clothed in leather and Alcantara. Much easier to get in and out of than the 675 or the 650S. And then what I really like is the window panels in the roof. Really like that, it's really nice. Maybe you lose something by not having the engine on display through the rear glass, as you have in the 650S, I'm not sure. Then the MMI and infotainment center is being moved slightly, and you obviously have your transmission controls on the center console here. Engine start and stop is in the middle. Electric maybe, yeah. A lot of exposed carbon in the actual inside of the car, as you can see. It's now 4 litre capacity, still twin turbo, whereas of course in the 675 and the 650S it's a 3.8, so it's been bored out slightly. And I suspect the engine's been heavily reworked. The exhausts have been moved up to the centre, as you can see, again a la 675 LT. A massive amount of carbon. Quite a stylish diffuser. So it's not one piece, and you can see that the back of this is completely exposed. So I presume that's the transmission at the back. It's logical, I guess. Wow. I think that makes quite a statement when you're on the road. Very impressed. Probably still running 20 inches on the back and 19 inches on the front, I would imagine. Definitely 20 on the back. And then, a little bit like the 675, you have additional air vents in the side of the car at the bottom. Used to be called the side skirts, but I mean really these aren't skirts as such. So this is really an example of a car that I believe is function over form, but they've also produced a stunner. Given this company, McLaren, produced its first car in 2011/2012, for a company that's been going 5 years, that is extraordinary how far they've come. And this is the first major rework of one of their ranges. Obviously the Sports Series was introduced a couple of years ago, and my understanding is there's a new Spider Sports Series coming out, possibly for Goodwood in the middle of the year. But this is the first major revision to one of its series, and this is the Super Series, as you know. So here we have the 720S, and it's actually in a red carbon with a huge metallic flake. And gold wheels. My God, that makes a statement. You can see what I mean about the rear wing. That is a fabulous colour. We're in the McLaren hospitality stand with the press, and they obviously enjoy their hospitality, I'd say. I see the 720S tucked away in the distance. Okay, so we're going to walk out into the main McLaren stand, but today's really been more about the 720S. Thank you very much indeed. And I'd suspect we've got a 570S here.
I don't like cars that have sculpted line in black.
I mean, I like the 570, and obviously you know that we really like the GT. Although, funnily enough, having had the 540C for a significant period of time, I have to say I quite like the rear window on the 570S and the 540C, because I think it looks a bit more supercarish. Of course, it's a very elegant car, the GT, but I think it just loses some of that supercar look. And in truth, really, it's not that much more practical. I mean, I think you get a little bit more luggage in here, and obviously you get a few squashy things that you can put here, but you lose sight of the engine to an extent. We have a grille behind the luggage compartment, but I think it swings and roundabouts. What I do like is I love the glass roof of the GT. I have another 570S. Takes us back to the 720S, which is where we started.
New structure. Instead of the old monocoque, it's actually a monoplane now. So the structure goes over the car.